You want the tea on turtles? Buckle in. And remember, you asked for it. A little bit of background first. Turtles are a long-standing problem in vertebrate biology and paleontology. The features that make them so recognizable, like their shells, are also the ones that cause us so much problems when we're trying to figure out what other groups of vertebrates they're related to. Their body plan is just weird and highly modified. And to make matters worse, for a long time we hadn't discovered many early fossil turtle relatives. The earliest fossil turtles we had were pretty turtle-like already. They were pretty modified and already had a shell. I mean, we were pretty sure they were reptiles, but where did they belong in the reptile family tree? For that matter, where do they belong within the group amniotes, which is the group that includes reptiles and mammals? Amniotes are roughly split into two different groups based on how many holes they have in their skull behind their eyes. Mammals and their relatives have only one opening behind their orbit, whereas reptiles, like dinosaurs, have two. But the earliest members of both of these groups have no openings in their skull behind their eye sockets. This group of early amniotes used to be given its own name, Anapsida. And turtles have no holes in their skull behind their eye socket. So for a very long time, paleontologists classified turtles as a very, very, very early branch in the amniote family tree. But then we developed molecular phylogenetics, where we looked at genes and DNA to figure out the relationships of living animals, and the whole thing got upended. Genetically speaking, it's pretty clear that they belong within reptilia or sauria, but even the molecular evidence isn't exactly clear where they belong. Some studies put them closer towards lizards and snakes. Some put them towards archosaurs, which is birds and crocodiles. Some morphological studies put them closer to the Sauropterygia, which is a group of extinct marine reptiles related to lizards and snakes. New discoveries of early fossil turtles have confirmed that they do belong within the Diapsida, within reptilia, because their earliest ancestors had two holes in the back of their skull, which eventually closed off in later forms. And the molecular evidence is starting to point more and more clearly towards that relationship with archosaurs. But where exactly they belong within that group, whether they belong within the archosaurs themselves or just on the outside, or whether or not they even belong there at all, is still technically up for debate. At this point, they've literally been classified in almost every group within amniotes, except for mammals.